such an asshole!
AssholeConsulting.com. Let's get right to it. You got money, I got answers. If you want the real answers, if you want lines and bullshit, I'm sure your parents in the media and Oprah will be willing to line up and suck your dick whether you're a guy or a gal, because everybody has metaphorical dick to be sucked. And then women just like, I'll give you my vote and money. Oh my God, you told me what I wanted to hear. Okay. And then like, you know, you pussy men like, oh yeah, I want to sleep with that girl that said leftist things. So I too will line up to suck your dick and give you money because I don't want to hit the gym, even though it'd be a fraction of the fucking effort. Did I do this right? Oh, I did. Okay. One more part to the public service announcement. First part was the discussion of layoffs. I've heard of private individuals contacting HR departments with negative information concerning employees whom the HR department is in question is responsible. Primarily, I've heard of this in connection to individuals who have social or political activities not directly related to the employer that nonetheless may be offensive to some. It is nice and interesting that employers view your personal life and your personal political opinions and your personal freedom of speech as their business. No one's going to convince me, oh, they have a private right to... No. When they violate your right to the freedom of speech and your freedom of political activity, left or right, don't care if you're Antifa or neo-Nazi, you should have the fucking right to go and protest and politically participate however you want. And if you're like Firefox, Mozilla, like you're, you know, a bunch of small dick, little faggoty little pussies, and you're gonna fire Brendan Knight because he made a donation 2 years ago to what was it? I can't even remember what it was. It was quite innocuous. In other words, you're the true Nazis. You're not letting people live their private lives. And I know how you corporations are all about social justice and we're just virtue signaling and work-life balance. But if you don't think the way we do, by God, we're going to fire you. Well, then you know what? You're fucking Nazis. And that's how simple it is. That's how simple it is. Gonna hunt you down like old World War II people. And hey, are you Hitler? Let's put a bullet in your head. But you're not Nazis because you're leftist shit. All right, never mind. Second of all, this came up in conversation this last week with the shift leader where I work concerning a 40-year-old technician who essentially had a temper tantrum and quit without giving notice after having worked in this position for 3 years. I am not trying to be dismissive of what can be genuine concerns about safety and legal behavior. What is your feedback? How freely expressive can a person be away from work without jeopardizing their current employment or future prospects? I'm not talking about at work. Any person with some sense needs to be reasonably well acquainted with the employee handbook. Yeah, no, you're right there. Like this whole Google thing. Now, admittedly, Google said, we're open up. Brilliant ideas. We're Google. We're so left-wing and we're just so cocksucky. Bay, San Francisco. I'm not even slamming on the gays. I'm talking about like how pathetic and like open-minded they are in the Silicon Valley. And then like, oh, you came up with this idea, you're fired. But he should have had a little bit more political acumen to know that you just don't tell people the truth. Now, if we're to hold Google to its standard that it self-purports itself to be, he should have been able to say that because he was trying to have it. But let's be honest, you got to read the tea leaves and read between the lines. The emperor has clothes, and you better admit that the emperor has clothes, otherwise you will be fired like this young individual does. What is your feedback? How freely expressive can a person be away from work without jeopardizing? You can't be. Let's talk practicality and then theoretically or idealistically. In today's world, given that half the population, which is millennials and pathetic Gen Xers and some of the Gen Y, have been trained to narc, tattletale, and put above all else a leftist political indoctrination religion that thought crime is the biggest thing. And these people are so pathetic and sad and they have nothing else to point to in terms of accomplishment that they go and hunt down people in a very Nazi, anti-free speech-like way. That's the reality. And now that a lot of my generation, Gen Xers, who are inferior, pathetic pieces of fuck, have gotten to the point that they too, I mean, don't think it's just millennials that got this indoctrination. The clergy, the what would we call it? The canon. These people are now your mid to senior. I don't want to say CEOs because that's preserved for the baby boomers because you didn't save enough for retirement. But the Gen Xers who have the same indoctrination, who lined up and conformed, and that's how you get ahead in corporate America. Conformance results in promotion, and so now these people are at the heads of everybody, the nation's institutions, and so whether they believe it or not, whether they're true believers or not, doesn't matter. They're going to subscribe to this indoctrination they got, and you know, again, the real world, what you have to deal with is that if you are not a leftist, if you do not say, yay, yay, diversity, come rape my ass, foreigners from Somalia, like if you're not Sweden, then you're a racist, bigoted, homophobic, all that. If you actually think, hey, don't whites have some rights too? No, you're a racist, and hey, shouldn't we tell women the truth? Like, hey, stop majoring in stupid shit. Or as the guy did over in Google, if you dare point out the emperor has no clothes, say, are women a little bit different than men, and maybe to make them happier? Like, his intention was quite, like, honorable. Like, I want everybody to be happier. If it does not match with the leftist indoctrination, these truly inferior people, I cannot emphasize that enough, how truly inferior they are. If it does not match up with their pathetic, oh, religious people, they're so stupid. Oh, I'm going to suck the dick of socialist, leftist, environmental, feminist, diversity, religion. I mean, it's like, really? You don't see the hypocrisy? Are you really that dumb? And most of them are. If it doesn't fit that script, you are an apostate. Look it up. You have violated, and you will be fired. And I think that's the number one problem facing all of the West right now. The rest of the world is actually smarter than the West right now. The second and third, we're like, look at these fucking dipshits actually believing this crap that they're being sold. But, so in a practical, functional way, no, you just line up and, oh, yes, United Way is the greatest thing ever. We should just donate all our money to them. Oh, yes, diversity. Oh, yes, I'll go to sensitivity training. Oh, yes, and take your fucking money and run. Just take your fucking money and run. This is the reality. This is the practical. Now, idealistically, morally, and I don't say this as opinion, this is just truth, people should have the right to think what they want. And they should have the complete right to go and practice religion, politics, anal sex, gay sex, whatever the fuck they want. Because when they clock out at 5 p.m., and I think corporations don't really fucking get this because they're evil, cocksucking, motherfucking pieces of Nazi shit. It's none of their fucking business. As long as you don't fuck children with the sign saying, I work at Goldman Sachs, you should be okay. Well, okay, you shouldn't fuck children, period, whatever sign you're holding. But as long as you don't implicate or associate yourself with a company or employer or whatever else like that, you should be able to do whatever you want and participate politically. Your private life, your sexual life should not matter. But isn't it precious that the leftists are like, oh, we should have total freedoms. We should be able to smoke pot and have, you shouldn't affect gays or homosexuals. Oh, but if you were Brendan Ike and you donated to a particular political, or you happen to be a conservative and you advocate, I don't know, whatever conservative, gun rights or whatever, well, then we should dox you and we should, and because, once again, it's not intelligence, it is conformity that gets promoted, now you have a generation of Gen Xers who are left. I mean, really, Marissa Mayer, the other broad that, the lean-in gal, my God, feminism is a huge, that's almost 40% of it. Like, vagina promote! Like, why should we promote you? It doesn't matter. But you're sexist! They won't promote you. And then the gal, she had her master's in fine arts and music. and she was the head of Equifax's cybersecurity. And now 143 million adults got hacked. Anyway, no, in a truly principled world, and this is not opinion, the employer, once you have paid your hour to the employer for the money you received, your free life should be your free life. That would be the most open-minded and truly work-life balance, social justice warriory. You go participate in society however you want, religious, sexual, political, however you want. It is none of the goddamn corporation's business. And I know a lot of people say, well, corporations should have the right to, and yeah, okay, I understand that argument, but since we're here now, and if corporations want to be so social justice warrior and work-life balance, you won't even look. You won't even care. You'll say, that person I'm no longer, hey, you know what? He worked 8 hours, we paid him 8 hours, our contract is done. What he does it in her private time is their business. But, once again, the inferior Gen Xers and now the millennials, they think it is their business. But this is cute talk. This is funny, cute talk. Because we all know that they just can't let it be. There's what it should be, and then there's what it is. Brendan Eich, the dude over at Google, at Gulag, there's other places where your political activities, your right to the freedom of speech and freedom of political participation, or religious freedom, they get fired. They get punished, they get ostracized, and it is more of a reflection upon the state of corporate America and employers, where they're just like, oh my God, look, if you're diddling kids, I understand, fire that person. If you advocate violence, like most teachers who happen to be in Antifa, maybe you ought to get rid of them. But when it's somebody making a donation to the pro-marriage America, you know what? As long as there's no victim, who the fuck are you? So it's okay. What is your feedback? How freely expressive can a person be away from work without jeopardizing current employment or future prospects? You can't be. You just can't be. You don't have the freedom of speech. If you want to line up like the rest of the dicks and the pussies and just be corporate America type people, and you just believe the indoctrination. Remember, everybody goes through college first now, so they're indoctrinated, and now that virus has infected the managerial ranks. You better toe the line of leftist diversity, rah-rah, whatever political thought. But if you don't, you better be prepared to be self-employed, and that's where the real world comes in. This is why I advocate, and everyone goes, not all of us can be self-employed. Yeah, but my small following can, because we're smarter than the fucking average bear. It's really nice being self-employed, like, and no one's ever tried to dox me. And just like, I mean, what would they do? I mean, really, well, I'm going to contact your employer. Hi, hello, file a complaint with me about me. And I'll tell you to go fuck off, and I'll promote myself to make even more money. I gave myself a 300% raise. I mean, and that's really the only prevention against. I mean, if you really want to secure your freedom of speech, become self-employed. And make sure your client base is a group of people that appreciate freedom. That appreciate, like, oh yeah, he tells it like it is. Like I got, what was his name or handle? He's a black dude. I don't know if he's on Facebook or what, or Twitter. And he says, I don't always agree with him, but he'll lay down the fucking truth. And that would be the most mature, responsible, really. That's what we used to have in America in the ideal world. At a particular time, we had that. Where it's like, yeah, I don't agree with Clary or this person on that, but dude, he's honest, or that's the ideal, is where you are self-employed, you can speak how you want, and you don't alienate your base. And I think there is a market. I think there's a market for that. Well, obviously there is a market for it, otherwise asshole consulting wouldn't exist. But I think a lot of people, the normal people, not the ones that CNN and all the fake news people report upon, there's a lot of people, and you'd be amazed in the true diversity, where they're like sick of the bullshit and they just want the truth. And you can kind of achieve that. I mean, especially if you're younger. Like if you're 60 years old and you decide like, I ain't got a pension. No. You start now and start laying down truth bombs. You're going to alienate all the assholes. In other words, you're getting rid of all the assholes in your life. Then you're going to have some really loyal people, legitimate people. And then maybe there's a little bit of money to be made there. But in either case, yeah, for now, if you're just starting, you need to put food on the table. Don't bring politics into work. Oh yes, I will line up. I will attend the diversity consultant training where Miss fucking dipshit with her worthless fucking degree in women's studies is for $150 an hour going to tell me not to grasp an ass or not to stalk a woman. You know, like that kind of fucking, but just play the fucking game, make your money, build up your gunpowder, and then make a fucking break for self-employment. Because that's the only way you can really guarantee yourself true freedom, true liberty, and true freedom of speech is where you don't have to answer to some corporate motherfucking Google Nazi piece of fucking shit. Alright? And that's it. Alright, you guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. We'll see if will YouTube, will they delete this video? Will they demonize it? Of course they will. Because they're fucking Nazi fucking pieces of shit. Alright, we'll see you guys later. Toodles.